finally caught the hag, his furious voice could be heard throughout the forest.
Aw.
For your wickedness, you will be eternally bound to the lake. What? No way. Quiet, let me finish. You will no longer be
Quiet.
allowed to leave. Not even under a full
Ever.
moon. The moon hag was imprisoned in the lake, and she never again tried to escape.
Why would she never try to escape?
And then the title. What do you think? Not bad, right? I guess that's okay. But I would have changed the end. What? No way.
So,
I totally forgot about it.
That's because it was dangerous to mention his name. He was too powerful.
the Ice King is kind of a ditz, but he is powerful, but also insane. So the idea here is that the two of these are twins. This guy has finished his transition, and the two of them share what they call the voice, which is, you know, what most people would assume to be twin telepathy. But apparently they can also experience memories. In the description of the game, it said that the memories were spurred on by large amounts of emotions, but at this point it just seems like they have a memory of something that they shared as children, and then like I can just say, hey, let's go for it.
Mom? About me joining the hockey team?
Ooh.
Mom!
Sorry, what? Not now. Maybe next year.
But you promised.
Not now.
Keep whining, and my next year will become never.
I mean, it already is
Can you
never.
cut my hair?
Your hair is fine.
But I want to cut it short. Really short.
What? Look, I'm tired, and I'm busy. Let's talk about this later.
You always say that.
All right.
Marianne said no to everything. Made me so pissed.
She was always on edge those last few months.
Yeah, and completely deaf to everything I was telling her I needed.
She pretty much always said no to me too.
True, but it felt personal with me.
Yeah, because you were going through it and you were a child. So I wanna address this really quick. You can see a lot of the mother's tendencies, and a lot of them, at least from what we've seen, you can see a lot of the mother's tendencies and a lot of the mother's straightforwardness in our main character right here. Our main this dude right here was wanting to go through that transition, was seemingly wanting to be more boyish, and it's setting it up from the point of view of the mother was completely and 100,000% against it and was going to keep her little girl. We cannot assume that's the case, because as we're seeing, like, the mother was sitting here stressed out, and he was like right here just like,
Diary's
I want to
probably
do this, I
Marianne's
want to do this, I want to
I
do
should
this,
go check.
pay attention to me, Mom. And even now, like, when his sister said, oh yeah, she said no to me a lot too, he was just like, yeah, but mine was personal. Like she didn't like me, which is why she said no. She said no to you because you were asking stupid things. She said no to me because she didn't like me. And I know he didn't actually say it like that, but that's what that boils down to. That boils down to, like, she had a reason to dislike me. She just said no to you because that's who she was. When it seems like she was just an unstable person. And so this is going to change the story, at least from our viewing point, from the idea of, here's this completely normal woman who had a transitioning child and absolutely hated that fact, to somebody who is struggling with her own demons in her head, who was looking for some type of control, who wanted to have that type of control over her
Diary's
children, and
probably in
wanted to have
Marianne's
the
room.
children that
I
she
should go check.
wanted, and couldn't.
Hold up.
So
What?
we'll have... Is that a
Remember this?
Unfortunately.
combination lock?
You must solve my riddle to earn the right to enter the princess's sanctum.
Nothing a good hard shove won't take care of.
I mean, yes, we could brute force it, but it might be kind of fun to finally
No,
solve it.
yeah, let's solve
right?
the riddle.
We have
Yeah, tell
different
me.
definitions of the word fun.
Okay, well,
No.
if we break it, we're just gonna have to fix it for the sale. So let's at
Exactly.
least try not to. You have the Book of Goblins?
Hold on. Okay, so this is their mother's room, right? Their mother, who was all about like, you are going to be the perfect, like that's what it's shown us. Okay, this is like one of the first really interesting things here. Their mother, who has tested concoctions on them, who has controlled their actions, who yelled at them for misplacing their toys, who was constantly just ignoring them, and which is all things that we've been shown here, but it's all from their perspective as children, so we can assume that that's a little blown out. Why would she put a combination lock on her door with a riddle and then say, hey, if you can figure out this riddle, you can come into my house, you can come into my room? That makes no sense for how she's been shown to us so far. I've only seen a little bit of this, and it looks really poorly written. It is pretty like the beginning. There's a lot of say not show going on here, which is always bad for a game. There's a lot of like, I'm going to tell you what's happening. I'm going to tell you what's going on. But for the character, for this character point in particular right here, either this is just some random thing that they wanted to put in here, or this is establishing something for their mother's point of view. So why would their mother, who is insanely protective and insanely like, you're going to do this, put in a riddle for two little kids so that if they want to come into her room at some point, they need to figure out this riddle? Why wouldn't she just lock down the door and say, never go in there?
Yep.
Hand it over.
Hand it over. He could have just given it to you. You didn't have to say it. I see
are you
bears,
looking for?
frogs, and
The image on the door. It's
Yeah.
making me think of a story from the book.
just
One that
give her
Marianne
a
wrote.
second. She literally
You
gave
have
it
a
to
way
you
better
second.
memory than me.
Makes
Well,
sense.
Book of Goblins was my creation.
And you'll never let anyone forget it.
Nope. All right.
Here it is. The one about the princess's party.
It's right there. It's literally right there.
Give it a read. I think the symbols may represent something in the story.
Okay.
First ghost memories, now storybook puzzles. What a weird day.
Don't be such a
What a
jerk.
weird childhood.
Touche.
Ooh, I think that this is super cool. Honestly, I think that this is super cool. So if we tab and then, oh no, what was the name of the book? Oh wait, I was too busy talking. The Bear and the Princess, the frogs earn the right to speak. The Bear and the Princess, the beaver fixes the house. The princess's party, the goblins and the ice cave, the princess and the two thieves. The princess makes new friends. Wait, is their mom supposed to be the princess? It certainly sounds like it has potential as a story, at least. I agree with you, Goblin. I agree with you. It has potential. The beginning is incredibly slow, very dialogue heavy, and very like exposition, very like a lot of exposition that is very unneeded unless you think that your audience is stupid, which I wouldn't assume that they think we're stupid, but they have the characters talk as if we can't put two and two together.
Well, that was your first mistake. Thinking the world made any kind of sense.
Oh, hon.
10 years in the grave, and
We're-
she's still finding new ways to piss us off.
We're gonna have to have a whole conversation about this.
I think I need some air.
Like, true, though. Like, you can't just assume that your assumptions are right, because they never are. And she had to be the enemy for them, because they were kids and wanted their own freedom. Is this story going to get into a point in which the guy purposely killed his mother so that he could transition because he felt like that would be strange, right?
Are you really, really sure?
Oh?
I am. Do it.
Oh, this is the night. Wait,
Hey.
this is actually the night. Because okay. Small little catch up here. The kid wanted to show his mother his new haircut. Because their mom and as we've seen, the mom does not want her to cut his hair, right? Does not want their hair to be cut. So they're going to do it by themselves, and it's going to cause their mom to absolutely flip a gasket.
Here we go.
Hey!
Is it
Stylin'.
Yeah.
Absolutely stylin'.
It looks amazing.
Look at that
Really?
chick
Yeah.
magnet.
I can't wait to show Mom. She's been so sad lately. More than sad. She's been scary. Yeah, but not tonight, though. It was almost like a party. Thank you, Allison.
Oh.
You don't have to thank me. You're my sister. I feel more like your brother. Brother, sister, we look out for each other.
Yeah. Goblins
But
for
I'm
life.
pretty sure I just gave you a really bad haircut. Mom?
Okay.
Mom?
So we know that Mom is out in, or at least I'm pretty sure Mom is out in the shed right now. So he goes down. It's raining. Does he just immediately go outside? Why is that door locked? You guys see that too, right? The lock is already turned.
God. Okay, keep it. It's okay.
So the mom tried to lock the door and didn't actually lock it?
Just try.
And mom has a gun.
Oh no. No. This is wrong. This is all wrong. Wait! Stop!
Of course you're gonna do that to me. And let me guess, that's the ending. Oh, okay. I was like, let me guess, that's the ending of the first chapter. No. Okay. There's still more. So, obviously, there wasn't hate in the mother's eyes. Yeah, your typical misunderstanding that is required for
Glad we found
tragedy.
your diary.
Exactly.
Me too.
I guess she was trying to figure out where you were at.
Yeah, well, she should have asked. I wasn't some goddamn research project. I was her child.
Oh, be quiet. I'm sorry, but you wouldn't have answered her, and she had absolutely no idea how to do any of that.
About the book.
You 100%
Raising
should have
her
been
child.
more transparent with her.
Do you even know how rare these books were in 2005? Was she trying to figure out how to support me?
Maybe.
Which, she wasn't trying. She never...
You
It doesn't
never
make sense.
let her.
I know. You cutting your hair was what set her off, right?
Allison,
Obviously
she read
not.
my diary. She already knew. It wasn't my hair. And if we were wrong about that... Fuck.
You think
Then you
she read
might
it.
be the bad
It's
guy.
possible she never even
Maybe?
opened the diary, and that things are exactly like we always thought they were.
Main character.
But if she
Angsty
did,
teen
and they
years.
God, Tyler.
The person.
Sure. I mean, we could have been wrong. But what good does it do to ask the question now?
You mean
That's
other than not
amazing,
having to live with the
Goblin.
thought that my mom tried to kill me for being me?
Tyler, I know you want there to be something to find. Something that'll make it all make sense. But
Allison,
she was unhinged.
I need you to
So
stop.
that's it then. She was crazy. Nothing else to say.
I think we'd be better off if we tried to move on.
Why don't we talk to a few people who knew her? See if that book makes any sense to them.
People don't want to talk about Marianne. They pretend like that night never happened.
Okay, hold on. Before I get into the whole, like, you know, you need to make a choice right now of this conversation. There's two sort of like ideals going on right here that are sort of fighting here. The sister wants it to just be over. Partially because, to be fair, if that is what he believes, it would be understandably upsetting. Oh no, 100%. 100%. Like if their mom, like we all here have the benefit of being a third party. And to be a third party on the exterior of situations like this means that you have more information than anybody on the inside, right? Especially in our predicament, because we can see all of these things, right? Object top to Allison. Okay. Like if you're trying to go through the transition and your mom is so angry that you cut your hair that she's trying to shoot you to death, like, go at it. Like 100%. She is a crazy monster. And she definitely seems like she was unhinged. Definitely seems like she was unhinged. And here's the problem I have with Allison's response to a lot of this, is that we're now being shown information that says that might not have been the case, that they didn't have several years ago. And he is of the opinion at the moment that, hey, we need to look into this information. We need to figure out like what this actually means, because things might not have been the way that we thought they were. And she is of the ideas at this point that, you know, don't open old wounds. Don't pick at that scab, because if you pick up that scab, it's going to make everything worse. Let's just go with what we know to be true, because it doesn't change the past at all, and move on with our lives. And so here's the idea of why that might be. Because he's been going through counseling, he's been going through therapy, and he's been going through this transitional aid of having people there and talking through, also being separated from the family, but also talking through people about that night, his transition, his mother, where he is in life, his goals, and then pushing towards those goals. And in his mind, for the last 10 years, he's been thinking that his mom hated him. Absolutely hated him and would only love a girl. would only ever love a girl and absolutely hated him, and he's gone through these last 10 years talking to people and working it through and moving forward with his life, going through the transition, making the different things work, getting career, and like pushing forward with what he wants to do in spite of his mother, in spite of that idea that my mom almost killed me because I'm a man, but I'm still a man no matter what happened. She, in all of the dialogue that we've been finding and in all that she's been presenting forward, has shown that nobody around here talks about what happened. Nobody wants to talk about a little kid accidentally or purposely, we don't know yet, committing parricide, which is when a child kills their parent. It is one of the absolute rarest cases of violence in the United States, that is. And she doesn't want to open those wounds because she hasn't worked through it yet. She hasn't had those conversations. She hasn't had that closure. She hasn't had anything. All she's had is a split away from what used to be her sister, but is now her brother, and a loss of a mother. That then she has gone out and said, all right, none of this works. None of this matters. None of this matters. What's in the past is the past, and it's not going to change anything. So let's just keep moving forward and don't look back at it. Yeah, she doesn't want to face it. Exactly. She doesn't want to face it. She doesn't want to face it. And even brought with this new information, she still doesn't want to face it because it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything about what happened. Her brother killed her mother, and then they were separated for 10 years, and now her mother is dead, and she's finally reconnected with her brother, but she's more attached to the rest of the family. But for him, this changes everything. For the last 10 years, his mother has been a monster that controlled and manipulated and harried them for the entirety of their childhood, and absolutely could not care less about him being who he wants to be. And we have suddenly been shown information that, hey, maybe that night your mother did not attempt to murder you because you cut your hair. That's huge to him. That's a huge amount of closure for him in that deep pit in the back of his mind that still says, my mother tried to kill me for cutting my hair. This is something that is making him reanalyze that drawing he made back when he was a child, when he committed that parricide. That she is definitely afraid will just open up old wounds and cause them to bleed out. So it's very easy to see that duality between the two of them. So the family cares. We saw it because she had to take a call.
Seems we got a trespasser.
What the fuck?
Whoa!
You got 5 seconds to talk me into defending my property.
Your property?
5, 4.
I'm Tyler.
Don't know any Tylers. 3, 2.
Sam!
Hi, Sam.
Ellie? What are you doing out here, girl?
This is our house.
Was I talking to you?
Sam, put the gun down. This is Tyler. My brother.
Well, your brother?
You don't have a brother.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I guess I heard about all that, but I never...
Hi, Tyler. What's up, dude?
Damn. You look like a real man.
What's up,
So do
Tyler?
you, Sam.
You know what I mean.
Oh,
Didn't know they could make a woman look so much like a man.
man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay. This is what they want me to go through. Hey, Sam. What's up, Sam? Hi, Sam. How's it going? Let's have a conversation. Let's talk for a second. I'm just me. That's what we're gonna go with. I'm just me.
You know, I'm just trying to be me.
He doesn't
It's
know.
just who I am.
Yeah,
Well,
he's just, he
I've
doesn't
seen
know.
a couple of lady transvestites on the TV before, but I've never seen a dude.
Never seen a dude.
Sam, that's not how you say that.
No,
what?
it's not.
Transvestites?
Yes. It's transgender. Transgender
Oh,
men.
God.
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's for a second, right? Let's acknowledge that. Right? Because there is this whole thing here about the idea that there is this whole thing about here, like, you know, oh, he's a dude. He's one of those like out of touch guys who is just like, oh man, look at this hot chick that is now a dude. How weird. He's trying to understand. He legitimately is trying to understand. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, he apologized. He said, "Oh, sorry." Like, this is just how he talks. He's not like he's not like, you know, dude's more open-minded than first impressions. Exactly. 100%, kid. 100% with what I was going to go into. Because most people would see this guy and go, oh, you bigot? You bigot? How dare you say, oh, this transgender, this transvestite. Transvestite used to be a medical term. Transvestite used to be a medical term that doctors used. And then people decided, oh, hey, because there's this one group of people who is going, oh, hey, look at all these transvestites everywhere. You're a like using it as an insult. They wanted to change it. And they wanted to now be, they wanted to now be whatever they're evolving it into. Because it does keep evolving. That's how language works. Language just keeps evolving as people continue using it. He has not been privy to the months and years of developing language. So to his mind, it's still a transvestite. That's it. Nah, just ignorance usually. But even like again, that's a thing. You need to kind of meet somebody where they are. You can't it is absolutely ridiculous to believe that somebody will meet you where you are, especially if it's in something that you know more about than they do. If they know more about the thing than you do, and they're being a jerk about it implicitly, like specifically to be a jerk about it, then yeah, go ham on them. Go off on them. Like if somebody says you suck at video games and doesn't understand the video game, then, you know, make sure that what they think is terrible and bad is actually terrible or bad, or tell them about how it's actually a good idea and what the strategy is. But if they know less than you do and they go, that's terrible, you need to meet them where they are and help them learn and give them the information that you have that shows that that's bad. Especially if out in the middle of nowhere and not exposed to different ideas. Exactly. When I cringe at it, it's usually internally. Yes, but that's the thing that I actually love this interaction because it's showing it, because usually we just see the idea of like, you know, here is this bigot, right? And in most media, he would have just been a bigot. But I absolutely love this interaction because he's just being very upfront. He's absolutely never seen a girl turn into a guy. He looks like a real guy. Yeah, okay. He is a real guy. Yes. But in this guy's mind, he wasn't born a guy. He was born a girl who is now a guy. And he thinks that that's really cool. That's super interesting. And most people would focus on no, but I am a guy. I am a real guy. But that's not what he's saying. He's not like that's focusing on the wrong part of the sentence. The part of the sentence that's important is how impressed he is at how male what used to be Allison's sister looks now because of the transition. And then, he used the word transvestite. And, transvestite used to be a medical term that he knows because of things that he's run into in his life. And yeah, they might not like the word. It might not be a word that they enjoy. He doesn't know that. He's not hip with the language. This is probably a brand new thing for him. He needs to be shown a path that isn't filled with negativity and anger, because filling a path with negativity and anger are just walls and barricades to keep people out. Oh yeah, I have a lot of friends across all different sorts. Yeah, I listen to them and how they deal with people. Yeah, people deal with people a bunch of different ways. It is all a learning process and how open we are to learn about it. I also live in the South, so I am well aware of the types who are just ignorant versus actual bigots. Yes, and I will say right now, at least from my point of view, from my experience, most people are ignorant and only some people are bigots. But the amount, like if I were to make a graph, like let's use numbers, right? In my experience, there is half a bigot for every 200 ignorant people. That's at least in my experience, from talking to people, from understanding where people are coming from having these conversations, from speaking with people. And normally, whenever I talk to somebody about a horrible bigot that they ran into on the street, about this terribly horrible person that they talked to for like 10 hours and who insulted them, it's usually because the person who met the bigot looked at that person and went, I know you're a terrible person. I know that you're going to be rude to me. Or at the beginning of the conversation was negative and they just totally wrote that person off as a person and then just put them into a box and said, you're a bigot. I don't like you. You're terrible. Which is unfortunate, because you should never write off another human being. You should never assume that they're just a terrible person just because you had a negative experience with them. Yep, probably pretty close. That road goes both ways as well. Yeah, 100%. You should always meet people where they are. If you know something, if you know a lot about where you are, then that's the thing. The person who is more knowledgeable in the subject needs to meet the person who doesn't know anything on the subject where they are, or else it's going to be a negative conversation. It's almost like that would make the individual the bigot. That would indeed make the individual bigot, Cam. That would indeed. Surprise, surprise. And hey, you know what? I know, and here's a wonderful thing, right? Okay, sorry. Here's a wonderful thing. Something that helps you stay out of the point of view of I never do that, because humans always do that. We have emotions. Emotions lead to thoughts or assumptions. And it's only in examining those assumptions or examining our reactions that we get ideas. It's all just treat others how you want to be treated when you boil it down. Yeah, pretty much. If you make a snap judgment of somebody else, or you make a judgment on somebody else based off of one topic, you do not actually know that person. Like, let's say this guy hates transgender people. Sure. Does that make him a bad person? No. And I'll tell you that right now. Him hating transgender people is just his opinion. And if he doesn't want to interact with them, and he doesn't want to, like, he could give to charity, he could donate his time, he could rescue puppies, he could do 1,000 other things. But we're going to say that because he hates one type of people that he's a terrible trash human? Now, and that's not me getting on my high horse and defending it. It's just an example. What it really boils down to is the idea that if you make an assumption of somebody else based off of what you think is true, that's bigotry. Now, let's get back into this, because I absolutely love this interaction.
It's hard to keep track out here in Delos Crossing. The world's just moving on without us.
There it is. Perfect.
It's fine. Let's just change the subject.
Works for me. Tyler.
Oh!
Thanks, Sam.
Oh! Good guy, Sam. Good guy, Sam. He attack, he protect. He also care. He attack, he protect, he also care.